we've just had this conversation about Trump talking about kittens and ducks and how Haitian immigrants are eating people's pet kittens and pet ducks. And we know that this is a false flag. We know that this is just out and out. It's a lie. And the people that are sharing this, they're lying. They know they're lying. Or at least they haven't done any kind of adequate research before sharing this stuff. They haven't given it a second. Hey, I wonder if is it possible that this is true? Is it possible that this is a lie? Well, I'll just share it anyway. Anyhow, there's a great lesson that's coming out of the basketball world about how we should approach this kind of moment. Should we find ourselves in that place? I mean, I've posted things on Facebook or on X. I guess it was Twitter at the time, whatever. But I've posted stuff that I've had to go back later and erase. Nothing ever hateful, but I remember, like 2 years ago, I shared a meme on Facebook, and I had somebody comment, Ed, that guy didn't actually say that thing that you think he said, according to this meme. And so I had to go back and I edited it and said something like, I was told the guy didn't actually say it, but it's still a really cool thing to hear. The words are still good, but as you know, sometimes we attach somebody's name to it, right? We attach somebody's name to it in order for it to gain. Anyhow, when I post things now of a quote that somebody offers, I usually put something in there that says, I have no idea if he really said it. I just like that it has been said. Anyhow, Cheryl Swoopes is a Hall of Fame basketball player from the WNBA. I mean, records, championships. She was a workhorse. She was an incredible basketball player. I don't know if she still plays. She's retired, but I'm not sure if she still plays. But she was an incredible basketball player. She had some successes as a coach. She had some ups and downs as a coach, actually. She's now spending a lot of time commentating on basketball because she's ridiculously knowledgeable about basketball. Now, back in March, April, all the talk, if you know anything about the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, there's a woman who's come in to play straight out of college, Caitlyn Clark. She's tearing it up. I think she has the most points in the history of college basketball, men and women. She's a phenom. She was phenomenal in college. She's in her first year of the WNBA, and she's playing great. But Cheryl Swoopes was talking about Caitlyn Clark coming into the league. And she said, well, sure, she's able to do it there because, well, she's a 25-year-old playing against 18-year-olds. It's going to be different when she gets into the league and plays people who have some experience. And she said, well, it's fine. Yes, she can get those points records, but, she had her COVID year, and so she's played 5 years, and everybody else did it in 4. And so it really shouldn't count. Somebody else is obviously the GOAT because they did it in 4. And okay. So she said a bunch of stuff along these lines, and it turns out that the things that she said that sort of diminished Caitlyn Clark's accomplishments, well, they were false. Now, I'm not calling them lies because she may not have known that they were false, but she said them. Okay? She may have been just speaking out of her backside. Hell, I think she's probably 25, so I'll say she's 25. Maybe she has heard that she was 25, or she has heard that she played that extra COVID year, or whatever the case is. But on a something that was broadcast out into the world, for her, as someone who is seen as an expert, who holds themselves up as an expert in this particular field, she said these things. And so people afterwards, they came and they said, listen, you owe us an apology. You owe the world an apology for saying those things. You owe the world an apology for trying to diminish Caitlyn Clark using this information. You owe the world an apology for misleading them. I forgot that I actually have. This is a picture. That's Cheryl Swoopes right there. I love that picture. I love that color. I love how flashy the whole thing is. I think it's awesome. Anyhow, what Swoopes, when she responded to the idea that she owes a responsibility, Swoopes said she absolutely takes credit for saying all those wrong things. So I accept my responsibility. I said that stuff and I shouldn't have said that stuff. So she's taking credit for saying those things. But she also said she would not apologize to anyone but Clark herself, but Caitlyn Clark herself. And news did break that she did. Not terribly long ago, she had a conversation with Clayton. She shared the text, and the two of them had a conversation where she did apologize for saying the things that she said. And Caitlyn Clark said, "That's fine. No, it's cool. No worries," or something like that. Anyhow, Swoopes goes on, "I don't owe you all an apology. I reached out to Caitlyn. We've had a great conversation. I don't owe you an apology." The word "owe" is kind of problematic. I mean, do you owe somebody an apology? Do you owe somebody anything if you make a mistake? I don't know if you do. Just because that word sort of invites other thoughts into it. But as a leader, as an expert, as someone who holds themselves up to the public, to the world, and says, "I know what I'm talking about. You should listen to me. You should take what I'm saying as something that I have considered and something that you should consider." When we make a mistake and we say the wrong thing, and by the wrong thing I mean something that is untrue, when we say something that is misleading to the world, we should apologize. We should apologize. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for us to stand up and say, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, I shared something with you that was untrue. Last week, last year, last month, I said something that I thought was factual, but it turns out it wasn't. It was not factual at all. I thought I said something. I thought what I was saying was true, but it was not. And I know that some of you took what I said and ran with it, and took what I said and lived by it, took what I said and you shared it with others. Well, I was wrong, and I'm sorry I didn't do the necessary research. I'm sorry that I shared it with you before giving it more consideration, giving it more thought. I'm sorry. I apologize for leading you astray. Because when we say something that is false, as an expert, if I sit here as an Anglican priest in Canada and say to you, God is a duck-billed platypus. That's the way it is. God is a duck-billed platypus, and you should start praying to all platypi, whatever. You should pray to all of that species because they are God, right? They are actually in the image of God. In Genesis, where God says, "Let us create them in our image," that's what God was talking about. Now, if I say that as an expert and I actually mean it, and I don't mean it, then I am misleading you. I'm leading you astray. I'm leading you away from the truth. If I tell you something that is wrong, and I tell it to you because I'm trying to offer you a different point of view that may change how you feel about something or what you think about something, then I am leading you astray. I'm leading you away from the truth. And I do owe you an apology. I don't just owe an apology to the person I lied about. Like in this case, again, I would say this was bearing false witness against Caitlyn Clark, claiming that she was 25, she's 22, claiming that she was taking 40 shots a game. She took about 22 shots a game, 23 shots a game on average, claiming that she played 5 years when she played 4. I'm bearing false witness. Cheryl Swoopes was bearing false witness against Caitlyn Clark in that moment with what she said to diminish her in the eyes of the judge, the public, basketball fans all over the world. Yes, she owes Caitlyn Clark an apology. Yes, she should Yes, she should apologize to Caitlyn Clark. But she made me think badly about Caitlyn Clark. She led me astray from the truth of of Caitlyn, the truth about Caitlyn Clark, and therefore she should apologize to me and to the world for it. And if we say something that is untrue on a platform like this, then yes, we indeed should say, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better next time. I will try to make sure that I'm only sharing facts. I'll try to make sure that my opinions are based on facts. I'm trying to make sure that the evidence that I allow to color my speech, the evidence that I allow to form my opinions, is based in fact. Something reliable, something that is researched. Right? That's what we should do. That's what a healthy human adult would do. That's what a person of love would do. Accept responsibility, not only for the things we say, but accept responsibility for how they impact others. And accept that we've impacted others in a negative way. Amen.